So let's start here with Donovan Clingan. We'll see him up at the level of the ball screen, defending the ball handler, and then getting back to make a second play at the rim after the pass goes through the lane there. So, yeah, no one took a chance on this dude last year in the NBA draft, but he's a shoo-in this year to get drafted, and I think he's got a higher ceiling, definitely a higher potential than guys like Zach Edey or DJ Burns for that matter. Definitely one of the most prolific and impactful front court players in college basketball right now. So UConn just good offensive principles here, making the right reads and executing off of it. So it's just a simple ball screen read right here. We got our defender on our hip, so it's a straight line drive towards the rim. The big has gotten off of his man. He's had to step out to defend the ball screen action, defend the ball handler coming off of it. So we get two guys who are going downhill. We got forward action in our offense. This is good news. And two guys have a straight line to the rim against one. So this is definitely to our advantage right here. Number 5, the ball handler, he's going to continue to read the man on his hip, keep him on his hip. I like this off-ball action here. We're hitting this guy right here just to keep him even more separated from the shooter in the corner. And we just keep him on our hip the whole time. We stay spaced on the opposite side wing. And we're able to get an and one bucket because we just make the right read and we execute. And let me just tell you what I really like about this move from Stephon Castle. You'll see him, he gets separation with that off arm. And then very importantly, he's ready to get up into his jumper. So he gets that separation with the off arm there. He gets separation between his defender, and then he's ready to go up into his shot before the defender can get set to go and try and make another play on the ball. He's already up into his shot and going towards the rim before the defender can get to a spot where he's making a play on the ball. That's why he gets called for the foul. He gets the separation first, and then now Steph Castle's already going up into his shot. He's a step ahead this defender. He's up into his shot, the defender's behind him. It's like that. It's very bang bang, but he's ready to go up, and the defender's still, he's not in a spot to contest yet, so he's got him beat. Just absolutely beautiful transition offense from UConn. You'll see, I'll stop it right here. Everyone's going to stay wide and run their lanes. It's beautiful. I mean, sideline all the way to the sideline, all the way to the sideline. And so what that's going to do is keep the middle of the floor wide open, which is what we want. We can make the defense really have to strain on this pass by switching ends of the court because all these guys who are gearing up to guard the ball going this way now have to get to this side of the court and get ready to guard the ball going the other way. We'll see that we're not in time to do that with this guy. This guy's also a step behind. And then no one's going to take Clingan. Number 2 doesn't step in his path. So that's all the read is it's a pretty simple read once we get the ball to the other half of the court. And number 2 here in purple isn't going to step in on Clingan. That little step in just gives up a straight line run to the rim. It's a good pass. Good job staying wide from UConn. And, yeah, really good job to execute this fast break. Lazy defense right here. You'll see that number 2 is lost. They lose track of their guys. These two UConn players are going to switch spots. He's got his head turned, so he doesn't really see it happening. He does see it, so he's going to call a switch, but he's still above the read line. Once he switches onto Newton, we call this the three-point line is known as the read line. And if my defender is going to defend me above the three-point line, it's really easy to get a step towards the basket on him because I can just run straight behind him. That's what Tristan Newton does here. He takes advantage of the sleeping defender, not noticing that he's switching on to a different player. He's above the read line. I can get a step going towards the rim. Great bounce pass from Caravan, and then we're going to finish right over top for the and one. This is the difference in the UConn team. I want you to watch Stephon Castle right here, and it's not a whole lot, just that cut. I'm telling you, just this cut. Just not staying spaced here is something that is rare. Like, this cut is rare. You will not see many teams other than UConn, many players that don't play for UConn fill this space. But it's simple. Just fill this space, and Your homie with the ball, he might not need you, but if you're here, then he can use you if he can't get a shot up. You're standing right next to him, he can dump it off right to you, and then you get the little bunny over the top. But you don't do any good if you just fill up here towards the wing. You don't really do us any good. We have a shooter spaced on the opposite side here, and just running into the lane here is a great cut because you're active off the ball. You're trying to make something good happen, and you're getting in a good position. So if you want to have success against UConn, you have to create these advantages by just making them guard more actions. Make their guys who are a little bit more limited in guarding the ball and defending multiple actions, defend those multiple actions and guard the ball through screens. Because we get ourselves up for a little midi jumper here because they have to defend multiple actions. We get decent solid contact there, just taking his path from the ball and forcing Clingan to step up a little bit on the second one right here. And then he's not comfortable. He's trying to get back to his man, so we're open for the jump shot. And then we'll see on the very next possession that Northwestern's going to get a high ball screen here and force Clingan again to get himself out of the three-point line, be a little bit uncomfortable getting away from his man. But what they need to do now is send another guy to hit Clingan from the back. Pause. What they need to do is they need to send another screener to disrupt Clingan from making this recovery to his man. If he's got to take a different route, then we have a clear shot to the rim. If not, then he is able to make somewhat of a play, and it's more difficult shot there. It's a good shot, great layup, good use of physicality underneath the rim, bearing Clingan to try and create some separation and get the shot off. But if we screen him right now, if we send this guy on the baseline, then again, UConn just is forced to defend more actions, and we're more likely that they make a mistake. All right, so there's a couple of different things to point out for Northwestern on this possession right here. First being that this roll guy is open the whole time. Clingan is forced to step up and defend Boo Buie coming off the screen here. And then number 33 in purple is going to be open the entire possession. We just don't find him. So in order to find him, I think one thing that we could do is have number 5 here get behind the ball, try to anticipate this ball screen action, anticipate our straight line drive to the rim, or anticipate our forward action, our downhill offense a little bit better. And how you do that is you get behind the basketball. Anytime you get a straight line drive, this defender has him on his hip, we're forcing the big to step up and make a play on the ball. There's going to be offense behind the ball. There's going to be opportunities behind the ball because the offense is going this way. So if he could anticipate this action a little bit more and get himself to a spot where he's making a bigger impact and he's available for Boo Buie to make a kick-out pass to him, like right here on the wing, they can get kick-out, tap, and then tap right down to the big guy before Clingan's able to react. If we get out to the corner here, Clingan is able to just stay right in this passing lane. We don't have a lane over top because he's too big. All right, but if we have my guy right here, number 5, in a crackback spot, Boo Buie can jump stop, reverse pivot, and we get a touch pass to the big for an easy layup. He's still open. We just never find him, and it's a real tough look that goes. Big swing here in this game. 3 minutes left in the first half. UConn up 16 at this point. We get a block there. Take away Northwestern's chance to gain some momentum, and then we're going to put a 3 in on the other end. That's a 5-point swing. Could have been a 14-point lead, but instead it's a 19-point lead. So great job here by UConn to really put a team away. That's what great teams do. You take away Northwestern's chance to, get this bucket, make it 16, get another stop, have a chance to cut it to single digits before the half. But by getting that block and then knocking down this 3, you extend it to 19. And yeah, it doesn't feel great with under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Big swing here in this game. 3 minutes left in the first half. UConn up 16 at this point. We get a block there. Take away Northwestern's chance to gain some momentum, and then we're going to put a 3 in on the other end. That's a 5-point swing. Could have been a 14-point lead, but instead it's a 19-point lead. So great job here by UConn to really put a team away. That's what great teams do. You take away Northwestern's chance to, get this bucket, make it 16, get another stop, have a chance to cut it to single digits before the half. But by getting that block and then knocking down this 3, you extend it to 19, and yeah, it doesn't feel great with under 3 minutes to go in the first half. So if I'm game planning to go against Uconn, I'd find a lot of ways to do this. Get Clingan isolated in space and make him have to defend the perimeter. If you can drag him out, we have better opportunities. And if you can hit threes, that's even better. But if you make him defend the ball in the ball screen, it keeps him out of the paint and it keeps him from being a force around the rim and on the glass. Here's another example, the very next possession for Northwestern. The next trip down the court, they do it again. Get Clingan out of the paint, and now the rim just happens to open up. On this one, very next one, Boo Buie just tries to go a little ISO, too much dribbles. Clingan never has to defend the ball. He can stay in the paint the whole time, and it doesn't turn out well for Northwestern. You have to get him moving. You have to get those guys who are a little bit more limited on the defensive end staying in front, like Caravan, Spencer, Clingan. You have to get them in actions defending the perimeter. It's the only way you have a chance, because if not, they're just going to run out and play sound defensive principles, sound offensive principles. They don't make bad reads. They don't take bad shots. They're not going to beat themselves. You have to beat them. And the way you beat them is by getting them into actions. It's one way that you can try to beat them, at least.